Let's just talk about the shell position from the bottom because a lot of our escapes are gonna land us in this position. We did talk about this briefly before, but essentially what I'm looking for on the bottom is to control the distance between us and try and control the group fights, okay? And there's a bunch of like little fights that are happening here that I think are important when you're starting out. Number one is my knee shield. I like personally to play my knee shield high towards the shoulder here. You can also play a low knee shield. I usually don't do this one too much unless it's kind of like as part of recovery. The reason being is he can collapse over the top of it here and start to go into like tripod passing and smash passes, and this is all quite rough. So I prefer to play like this kind of high knee shield with my foot on the outside of his body. My hands are going to be controlling this far side here. So I'm controlling his shoulder and this hand. Most of the bad things that are going to happen to me are going to come from this arm. So one of the best things you can do is just try and dominate this grip exchange here. Okay, so if I ever feel like him starting to pin my wrist, trying to make sure I free my hand. It could be if you grab my collar straight away, stripping the collar grip. Never let the guy like grab your collar or your head. Pretty much always bad. And I return back to like dominating this inside space here. And the other big one that I feel like is important is when they claim your knee line, okay? I don't like when people like claim your knee line because now when he starts to apply forward pressure, he's gonna start to be able to square my hips up and work towards that chest on chest position. So when we're here and I feel like he's ever trying to claim my knee line, I've got to make sure I really start to hip escape my, like I almost like straighten my legs and like kind of scoop my butt back just to make sure my knee line stays free and I kind of like bring it back out in front of him. And just my hip position and where I want to be. It's good for you when you're here to be on your side. The worst places you can be are pretty much flat on your back and obviously turned away is pretty rough as well. So I want to try and make sure I stay angled towards him here. And one of the ways I can do that is by pushing my butt out behind me here. So I keep my butt back, almost like I've done a hip escape, which actually means my head comes closer to him. Then now when Benny starts to like apply forward pressure, I can actually stay like pretty well on my side. If I did the opposite, if I kind of played like with my butt in a line with my feet and my head here, anytime he applies forward pressure, I'm gonna get rocked back easier. And I think the last thing to just talk about is, if we spin this way, is just the hook. When our partner is on his knees here, I think it's a good idea to hook his leg. So my toes turn down here, just like this. This just makes it hard for him to run around and back out. I get some kind of control, okay? Instead of if I just like have my foot flopping here, he can kind of sprawl his leg out, cut over the top, or maybe shin cuts, so he steps it in. At least this way I get to feel like kind of where he's going and I can kind of move him around just a little bit, all right? And then I can kind of start to upgrade towards my different guards.